Hey, this is the Antisocial Socialite back at it again. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you are new to the channel and you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, smack the notification bell. So every time I get to run in this MOUF, in this BITCH, baby, yes sir, you are in the mix. You see the title, hopefully there is a title. The title is Black Women, You Make the Men That You Complain About. I don't think this needs a lot of explanation. The title is pretty self-explanatory, but we've got to go into this. I'm not even going to make this long. I always say that, black women be lying. Oh my God. I was on the train. If you're in the States, it would be the subway. And there's this white boy sitting opposite me, coordinated clothes. I was like, wow. Nice trainers, sneakers. He's got the shoulder leaning back in the chair. He just looked like a stereotypical black man. You see, when white people emulate black people, it says a lot about what non-black people think about us. When they operate in a certain way and they call it acting black, this is what they perceive a black person is all about. When you see a white girl backcombing her hair, looking a bit rough, shall we say, clapping her hands as she speaks. I told you not to say this, pointing dragon claw nails and freaking eyelashes that are out to Timbuktu. The boys walking around. I've seen a number of boys, white, whole ass hanging out. This is what non-black people think of black folk. When they think about black people, they think about ratchet behavior, hood behavior, ghetto, thuggery. It's not a good look. Even though maybe the vast majority of black people are not like that, this is what people see and imagine when they think about a black person. And there's a reason why there's white boys doing it, Asian boys doing it, Turkish boys doing it. If you live in a multiracial society, you're going to see the guys who want to operate cool and get access to women, especially in this culture, if you're in the West, are guys who put on this ultra macho, thugged out, very hood demeanor. They might not be hood, but they are trying their hardest to come across like something they're not, because they understand this is what's going to give them sexual access. So they're getting the tattoos. They're getting tattoos all up, on their face. I've seen eyebrow tattoos that just look ridiculous. I mean, I hate the ones on the back of the hand. I think it looks revolting. I'm old school. I come from a time where if you had tattoos, they had to be covered. Like you wouldn't get a job if you had visible tattoos. So they were like, if you get tattoos, they have to be covered. Your shirt has to button up. We only know that you have tattoos when you're like stripping, literally. Now dudes have got all these sleeves, shin tattoos, back of the calf. I mean, you couldn't be a police officer with visible tattoos, because that's what differentiated a police officer from a lay person. And we can debate, should police officers look more like regular people so they can identify with the public? There's arguments for and against. I don't really know. I personally feel like if you're law enforcement, you should appear like law enforcement, and I like the idea of tattoos that are coverable, because I don't want to see all your tattoos. Tattoos are a little bit of an attention grab. They're something that people do to get people looking at them and talking at them, because let's be real, most of our body we never see. So when you have all these tattoos all over you, who the hell actually can see them? Not you. Okay, maybe you can see them when you look in the mirror, but apart from that, for the most part, even when you look down, you can't really fully appreciate them. They're there for other people to talk about and to look at. So dudes know, if I want to get sexual access, I need to make sure I'm doing what women like. Okay? That's just the rule. Guys get cars, they get haircuts, they make certain amounts of money, they change up their style in order to impress females and to get sexual access. The dance of love between men and women is a back and forth, okay? There's times when you lead, there's times when you follow. And what's happened is women constantly want to use their sexuality, they want to use their private parts as a way to manipulate men, but then you manipulate the men into something that's useless in the black community. Thugism and thugged outness and swag can't pay bills. Okay, all right, maybe now more, you see, there's always a sting in the tail. It's never something that is pure in good intent. I go around and I see a lot of commercials right now. Number one, I see a lot of mixed race people. I ain't got nothing against mixed race people, but mixed race people are being used to replace dark-skinned black people. That's just undeniable, okay? You might have an advert with a dark-skinned black woman, you might have an advert with a dark-skinned black man, but you very rarely see an advert with a whole black family. You know, even if there's a black man with a black child and a black wife, the child often looks like he can't come from those two parents. And we know there's some throwback genes, but I wish these two people behind me would stop talking so damn loud. Oh my God. Doing videos on the fly. Yeah, so they always just set it up in a random ass way that just, it's a dig. There's always a dig in there. There's always like a little bit of disrespect, but it's like, oh, we want the representation, and they just throw you like anything and then call it, well, see, you wanted a black person in a commercial, we put one, be satisfied. And it's like, instead of having handsome dark-skinned black men, which I'm not going to lie, they're doing much better here in the UK. You know, it's like a lot of mixed race. Now it's like, okay, we're going to put some black people, whether it's fully black, dark skin, light skin, mixed, but they've got to be a thug. Again, it's perpetuating this stereotype that the only type of valuable black man is the thug. And what's sad is this culture of hood life is not respected anywhere in the world. It's meaningless, it's useless, it's unattractive, it doesn't have a retirement plan attached. Being hood is either going to leave you like flipping burgers at 50 because, you know, you don't have any formal education, or you're just like a roadman standing on street corners, and then at some point you realize, oh my gosh, my pension is coming up, I need to quickly go and work so I'll get something. Either you're going to die or you're going to go to prison and probably be a repeat offender. I mean, hood life is only glamorized in the movies to give people the hope that there's actually something at the end of that fake rainbow. But really and truly, hood life is just absolute shit. These people are they're just consumers. They're useful because their mind is impressionable. When you sell them these dreams, they go out and they buy the latest trainers, they're buying the tracksuit, they're getting the jewelry, they're doing the tattoos. They're blowing all this money that they should be investing in the future on things that's frivolous in order to access vagina. Okay? So, why do I say we women create the men that we complain about? It's simple. The things that we tell men we like are the things that we should actually understand are valuable in terms of building a black community. If we keep telling guys, we need you to have the latest pair of Jordans, we need you to have swag, we need you to this, that and the third, guess what? Our men are going to be useless. Because whatever they think it's going to take to get access to women, that's what they're going to do. We need to tell ourselves first and foremostly, I like a man who's got a job. I like a man who's got an education. I like a man who can take care of a household. I like a man who wants to settle down. I like a man who wants to have a family. I like a man who has something to teach a child. These are the kind of things that as black women we need to teach ourselves, and we need to encourage each other to look for, just like every other race of women. Because we are so superficial, because we are so materialistic, we as women, we start to project standards that men should have for us onto them. So we start to operate in a masculine way. The masculine principle is looking for beauty, is looking for femininity. So if you're a masculine energy woman and you're just talking about and preoccupied with looks, then that's why you're going to, attract one of these pretty homosexuals, these guys who roam around, they spend all their money looking good, but they have absolutely nothing to bring to the table but sex. And we create these guys because giving these kind of men sexual access validates their existence. If they weren't getting any action, they wouldn't keep doing this. They wouldn't keep on spending all their money on things that are not going to last, because they know it's fruitless. They'd actually go and work, they'd actually go and build a business, they'd actually be productive members of society more than not, because they understand they're wasting their time and energy, they're wasting their time and energy doing certain things to attract female attention. What we as women give attention to, what we as women validate, is what is going to be increased in the black community. So we cannot keep saying, why don't black men build? Why are black men deadbeats? Why are black men this? My baby daddy is that, da 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 da. We can't keep saying these things if we are at the same time having relationships with the kind of men that we complain about. There's no incentive for these men to change or do better, because the one thing that is going to motivate most men to get up, get a job and sort his life out is sexual access. It's one of the biggest driving forces for a man. The prospect of having, access to women, if he wants a family, finding a wife. So if you as a woman set the bar so low that a guy, basically on the strength of nothing can get sexual access, guess what? Dudes are going to stop trying. Okay? We have a lot of women out here, they're not securing good men to be the fathers of their kids, which means the children are growing up in a highly feminized environment. They think like women, they operate like females, they don't have, their masculinity down because they haven't been guided into masculinity by a strong father figure. Then they go out into the world and they're bombarded with all these images. The only father figure they really have is what they are presented with in mainstream media. And the mainstream media doesn't want to present a positive image to black men, because if you are not going to be productive in the sense you're going to compete on a high level, at least you're useful in terms of being a consumer. And if you can't be a consumer, at least we can imprison you and make money off of you that way. So we as women, if we want to see a better community and have a higher option of black men to choose from, we have to be the ones to realign what we consider attractive and valuable in our men and cultivate that. That's all I have for this one. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. If you agree, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.